So we
Cool.
will stalk you. We will stalk you. If you ask a question, we will find out who you are and answer all your questions.
What's up, everybody? Joe Gray here today. I am joined by Yogi and Benji from Freak Athlete, and this is our very first Reddit rHomeGym AMA warm up. So we're gonna talk to the companies that are going to come in and do the AMAs a couple of weeks to a month before they show up, give you a couple of quick answers, let you know who they are, what they're doing, and why, most importantly, you should join the AMA to get to know them even more. So, Freak Athlete, what's up, guys?
What's up, Joe?
What's going on?
What's up, man? All right, so with that, we're going to jump right into our questions. So we got 5 questions today for all of our hosts. 1, 2, 3, and 5 will be the same questions. And number 4 is going to mix it up a little bit depending on who we've got. So, number 1, guys, tell us who's Freak Athlete? Who are you individually? Why are you here?
So my name is Benji. I'm the founder of Freak Athlete, and I started Freak Athlete after suffering major knee injuries back in the day as I pursued pro soccer. And my goal of Freak Athlete is to help young Benjis like me, help people get out of pain, prevent injury, and perform better.
My name is Yogi. I'm the head of product at Freak Athlete. And a little bit of background about myself is I went to medical school. I have a history of many knee surgeries and a lot of issues throughout the body. Again, my goal is similar to Benji's, is that I want to help young yogis and even older yogis in that case to help get out of pain, prevent injuries, and live a better life.
Cool. All right, so right into number 2. Tell me about your lifting experience. And it doesn't have to be lifting. It could be, sports, whatever it is. Kind of how have you been active throughout your life?
So I'm a lifelong soccer player. That's my number one passion in sports and before Freak Athlete, just in life. Been playing since I was 4. And right when I graduated high school, I went to England to play for 2 years, and I played 1 year semi-pro in Spain. And during that, I was very skinny growing up. I got into lifting when I was 16, 6 years ago. And all of my lifting was built around performing for soccer. So I was a defender. I was trying to get stronger so I could hold people off the ball. A lot of traditional lifting as well as plyometrics to get faster. And as I started to face knee injuries, my training style shifted more towards ATG and knees over toe style to try and become more resilient, bring myself back through full range of motion, and really just become bulletproof.
On my end, I've never been much of a lifter right off the back. I always thought lifting would stunt my growth or whatever it may be. So I was a little afraid to do that right off the back. But lifelong, I played a lot of sports. I played everything from soccer, basketball, ultimate frisbee, you name it. If it's outdoors, I've more than likely done it. If I was good at it or not, that's a different story. But I've pretty much done it all. Um, I ended up suffering an ACL tear back in my 3rd year of medical school. And since then, I've had 5 knee surgeries. I've had a ton of pain. That kind of resulted in a lot of other parts of my body just compensating and just getting in pain and hurt and all that stuff. So then I also discovered ATG, knees over toes style training. Understanding full range of motion is important. Squatting knees over toes is actually important. There's a time and place to do such things. And it just started developing a passion within me to getting out of pain for myself, and then eventually took that passion and directed it towards getting other people out of pain as well.
And you're a doctor now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number
Not
3. Uh, number 3. So what's your experience with kind of Reddit or HomeGym, but in general the home gym community as a whole?
So I first really got into home gyms in 2021. I tore my ACL while playing in England and attending college there. Came back home and just went all in on rehab. I'm training 4 hours a day and very little money. So I'm trying to DIY things. I DIY'd my own Nordic bench. I was trying to get tip bars out of PVC, just janky products. And I spent a lot of time on different Reddits. So our home gym to see other setups and how people are liking their equipment. R slash knees over toes. That's the training style I largely used in my rehab. Also spent time in the ACL Reddit community. And I'm actually really grateful for Reddit. Home gym was a big one. The biggest one for me too was spending time across these communities. It's actually a big way that Freak Athlete got started. So our first 300 sales, about half of them came through different Reddit communities, just spreading the word. People were talking word of mouth. And of course we market, but we try to make products so good that people legitimately believe that others need to know. And that started with the Tib bar at $49. At the time, there was nothing under 150. And fast forward 2 years later, the Nordic Hyper is the product of my dreams. I believe it solves so many problems in home gyms. And it's the product I always wish I had. I didn't have room or the money to get a Nordic bench, a back extension, GHD, hip thrust, all these products. And that's really what led to this journey to make the Nordic Hyper. I wanted to solve the biggest problem in home gyms in bulletproofing training. And I believe we've done that.
My experience in the home gym community, specifically the Reddit sub for home gyms, it was a lifesaver, right? In 2020, when gyms closed down, like majority of the United States at this point now, who have a home gym, a lot of them don't really use it as much, or they do, but mine started off as at the same exact point. I went on Facebook, everyone was looking for dumbbells, plates right off the back, right? I was trying to be like, okay, I started accumulating a lot of stuff, and then I was like, oh my God, I don't have the space for all this stuff. What do I what do I do? Everything is just super cramped, super everything. So the Reddit community on home gym really helped me dial down like this is an essential thing. This is not really that essential. I look at a lot of pictures, a lot of different orientations, how people had it set up, what are the different equipments that people are using, right? Most of these things I never even heard of. And now I've heard of almost everything.
Sure.
And then same thing with the Nordic Hyper is that really helped. Space is the most important real estate that we have in a home gym, right? That's the most valuable thing that you have. And this thing replaced almost everything that I had in the accessory machines. And like a Nordic bench took up so much room. And it's all it did was just did Nordics. And I was like, this is absurd. But I wanted to do Nordics. And I was like, oh, what do we do? And so then me and Benji came up with the idea of the Nordic Hyper GHD. And it went from being a Nordic bench that inclined. And I was like, we can add back extension to it. And I was like, let's do it. Let's do a GHD, hip thrust. What else can we do with this thing? We just kept going on, and then eventually came up with all the features and decided, this is something for a home gym user. It's worth its weight in gold.
Nice. Yeah, we for the garage gym competition, we always ask, one of the questions is, what's a problem in the home gym space you haven't been able to solve yet? And the answer every time, by like, you get a few answers here and there, but the number one is space. How can I fit more things? How do I better leverage my 15 by 15 garage, whatever it is? And I've written a couple of articles specifically on space and all kinds of stuff, and I mean that is the answer every single time. How do we cram a commercial gym into half of a garage, right? So yep, cool. All right, number 4. So this is the unique one for you guys. So what are the 3 crucial exercises to becoming a freak athlete, and why?
It's a great question. Number 1, it was our old logo. It's my favorite movement in the entire world, Nordic curls. And for me, Nordic curls are so special because most people spend their entire lives in the gym. They're training deadlifts, they're training hamstrings through a certain range of motion, they're training hip extension. And Nordic curls just shock you. You're training your body through a more natural movement pattern. It's very similar to sprinting, where your feet are pressing against the foot plate, you're firing your entire posterior chain. And as you're fighting gravity on the way down, even if you're brand new, you're teaching your knee tendons to engage, your hamstrings to engage. Even if you have a torn ACL or you're trying to prevent that, by getting stronger as you fight gravity, you're able to avoid knee injuries, hamstring strains. It's such an impactful movement. And to me, the single biggest tip to becoming a freak athlete is not getting hurt. If you can spend 10 years continuing to play your sport, being in a natural environment where you're going to be sprinting and jumping, that's going to lead to all the performance you can ask for. You can become a freak athlete by playing your sport in that sense. And the number 1 tip is just stay healthy. And for me, the other 2, in shorter terms, number 1 is full range of motion squatting. And I'm not going to act like I'm the Ben behind this. A lot of what I learned here is from Mr. Ben Patrick and Charles Poliquin. And my right knee, I had 2 knee surgeries in 2019 and 2020 for torn meniscus. I never thought that knee would fully bend again. And I spent years just trying to stretch it and passively grow it. And what really clicked for me was truly taking myself to the full range of motion with load. So slowly progressing. At first, I'm assisting myself. And that's what made such a big difference. So to me, those two alone get you really quite far. And last one is sledding. RKP is such an amazing way to get blood flow into the knees and quads. Again, this is something I learned very heavily from knees over toes guy, from Ben Patrick. And after my ACL rehab, the first thing I got was a sled. I actually made my own sled. I took a backpack, I filled it with rocks, and I actually attached a tripod, and I'm just pulling it across the backyard a few weeks out, can barely move, but I'm really teaching my knees to fire again. I'm getting my knees over my toes. It's engaged my quads, and it really made an impact for me.
Nice.
For me, the most important one is going to be the sled. That's my number one because it's something that I was able to do right away. I scaled it based off of my level, right? I wasn't there pushing a couple 100 pounds. It was literally almost like an empty tire, right? I was just pulling it, just getting it going, getting some blood flow going to my knees, realizing I can do this. I can start getting out of pain. This actually started feeling good for me. And eventually, just starting to be finding some turf that I literally just, it was crazy story, but I found this stretch of turf that I put in my thing for free, and I found it like near like a trash can. So I went there, I picked it up, brought it home. It was disgusting, and then I had it cleaned up, and it was like brand new now, right? But now then I got a sled. I was able to push and pull, and that's been life changing, not just for my knees, but just for my entire lower body, ankles, feet, hips, everything, right? It's been amazing. Second thing for me is a back extension. More than anything else, I've had knee pain and everything, but my back has always been my limiting factor for a lot of things. So being able to do back extensions really helped me understand rounding my back is okay. Keeping it straight is okay. All these things, working through your pain-free range of motion is okay. That's how you get out of pain. That's how you become resilient, and that's how you become bulletproof. And the third most important thing I would say has been squatting, right? And again, I'm not squatting numbers like Benji out here, but it's just been something where I can get a full range of motion. It's like a full body exercise, right? Your core has to engage, your lower body has to engage. Everything has to become in a uniform pattern in order to perform a good quality squat, right? So these three movements, and again, a lot of this credit is due to Mr. Ben Patrick, knees over toes guy. He's really been a huge inspiration in me getting out of pain, Benji getting out of pain, even thousands getting out of pain. So very grateful for that.
Awesome. Do you guys know who Donnie Thompson is?
Yep.
So
First, Donnie
yeah, okay, yeah, first 2,000 pound total. So his line always is what's the best rehab is to never get hurt in the first place. So yeah, so I 100% feel that one. I wrote an article like a year or two ago. I just said rehab sucks, don't get hurt, because it's not like the backtracking you have to do, the relearning, the undoing, the compensatory factors, the all this different stuff. You get injured once, it takes 6 weeks to heal, but it takes 7 years to unpack all that nonsense. So, yeah, I agree. All right, so the big one, send us off. Tell me one reason why people should be excited about your upcoming AMA.
So quick word here. There's probably 1,000 of you out there with my personal cell phone number. If you have it, text me, call me anytime. I will answer. And that's something I think is really special to Freak Athlete is even as we scale, even as we grow and make amazing products, Yogi, myself, and everyone else on the team, we are you. Everything we make, it's inspired by the struggles we've gone through. And I believe you go through that same areas. Space is king in the gym, in the home gym. Everyone is trying to avoid injury, no matter where you are on the spectrum. And many of you we've talked to, this is just a great chance for you to get to know us more. It's rare that you can actually understand who's behind a brand. And there's lots of great companies out there. And I would have loved to talk to the brains behind it and understand what drives them. So if you have my cell, text and call. If not, talk to me on Reddit.
And for the other 20,000 of you out there who have my phone number, you already know, like if you're gonna ask us a question or if you expect any service out of us or in any way, shape, or form, you will get it, and you'll get more than what you just got. Right? I was just on a call. I was actually late to this call right here because I was on a call with a customer, and we were going over some of the issues he was having, or like just in general about the product, and He's like, oh wow, that resolved all my issues. I was like, there you go. It's as straight as simple as that. So please reach out to us. You already have my phone number or my email or whatever it may be. Reach out. If not, reach out on Reddit. Reach out to our customer support. We will get back to you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean,
And one thing I want to add as well, in case we haven't mentioned it before, we do have a giveaway running. So all the description, all the info is going to be on here on Reddit. Massive giveaway, the prized possession, the Nordic Hyper, of course. So shout out to r/HomeGym, shout out Joe Gray, and enter here.
cool. Yeah, I can speak firsthand. So the review video I put up for the Nordic Hyper, one guy commented and he had some issues. Before I even commented, Benji had commented and said, hey, we want to resolve this. It turned into it was a misunderstanding. There wasn't actually an issue with the Freak Athlete product, but Benji himself was the one who actually reached out, made sure the guy was taken care of, made sure everything was good. So everything they're saying is not just a tagline they throw up
I'm a
there.
little bit of a stalker. I saw the guy's name. I went onto our back end. I started typing in. They were like 15. Let's say his name was Nick. 15 of them. I go through. I think that's him. I text him like, oh my gosh, it's him. We're chatting back and forth and got it resolved.
Awesome.
So shout out Nick.
Very
So
cool.
we will stalk you. We will stalk you. If you ask a question, we will find out who you all your questions.
All right, everybody. That is our first warm up for our AMA. If the details with the dates, with the links, with all this stuff I'll have will be down in the description. Make sure you check it out. Check out Freak Athlete, all that good stuff. And that's it. Peace.
Thank you guys.